You know, in all my years of studying the human psyche, I've encountered a particular type of woman who puzzled me at first. She sits in a crowded room, yet seems to exist in a different dimension entirely. She smiles at the right moments, says the appropriate words, but behind her eyes lives something ancient. And I want to tell you something quite startling today. These women, the ones we call old souls, they're not just mature or wise in the ordinary sense. No, they carry something far more profound, and I dare say far more isolating than anyone admits. Now, before I continue, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were born in the wrong era? Like the conversations around you are happening on a frequency you can't quite tune into? Like you're constantly translating your thoughts into simpler terms just to be understood? If you're nodding right now, if you feel that familiar ache of recognition, then what I'm about to share might finally explain why you've always felt so different. The first sign: she seeks solitude, not to escape, but to finally breathe. Most people fear being alone. They fill every silence with noise, every moment with distraction. But the old soul woman? She craves solitude like others crave company. And here's what nobody understands. She's not antisocial. She's not broken. She simply cannot sustain herself on surface-level interactions. When she withdraws to be alone, she's not rejecting others, she's returning to herself. It's like, imagine breathing through a straw all day and then finally being able to take a full breath. That's what solitude is for her. The second sign: she sees through people's masks instantly, but pretends she doesn't. This is perhaps the most exhausting aspect of being an old soul. Within minutes of meeting someone, she knows. She knows who's authentic and who's performing. She senses the insecurity behind the arrogance, the pain behind the humor, the fear behind the anger. But here's the terrible burden. She must pretend not to see. Because when people realize you can see through their carefully constructed facades, they either run or attack. So she plays dumb. She acts surprised by betrayals she saw coming. She pretends to believe lies she recognized immediately. I once treated a woman, let's call her Marie, who described this perfectly. She said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm constantly acting in a play where everyone else believes the props are real, and I must pretend to believe it too, or they'll throw me out of the theater."
The third sign: she chooses depth over breadth in everything. While others collect hundreds of acquaintances, she might have 2 or 3 real connections. While others sample many experiences, she dives deep into a few. She doesn't want to know a little about everything. She wants to know everything about something. This makes her seem intense, obsessive even, but she simply cannot engage superficially. It physically pains her. Small talk feels like speaking a foreign language. Casual relationships feel like wearing clothes that don't fit. The fourth sign: she remembers past lives, not literally, but emotionally. Now, I'm not speaking of reincarnation in the mystical sense, but old soul women carry emotional memories that seem to predate their actual experiences. They have a nostalgia for places they've never been, a grief for losses they haven't experienced, a wisdom about things they haven't lived through. It's as if their unconscious is connected to something collective, something ancient. They dream in symbols that feel older than their years. They recognize patterns that should be foreign to them. The fifth sign: she cannot tolerate injustice, even in its smallest forms. While others can overlook small cruelties, tiny betrayals, minor dishonest acts, the old soul woman feels them like physical wounds. Not because she's judging, but because she sees the ripples. She sees how one small lie creates a cascade of disconnection, how one act of cruelty plants seeds that will grow into forests of pain. This isn't self-righteousness, it's pattern recognition. She sees the end from the beginning. The sixth sign, she loves differently. Completely or not at all. The old soul woman doesn't know how to love casually. When she loves with the force of centuries. Not in a possessive way, but in a way that sees through time. She loves not just who you are, but who you were and who you're becoming. This intensity frightens people. They're used to love that can be turned on and off, love with conditions and escape clauses. But her love is like gravity, constant, invisible, inescapable. And when she withdraws that love, it's not done in anger. It's done with the sad recognition that some connections simply cannot hold the weight of such depth. The seventh sign, she knows things without being told. Call it intuition, call it pattern recognition, call it whatever makes you comfortable. But the old soul woman knows. She knows when someone is lying. She knows when a relationship is ending. She knows when something significant is about to happen.
She doesn't know how she knows. The information just arrives, fully formed, like remembering something that hasn't happened yet. The eighth sign? She cannot engage with popular culture the way others do. While everyone discusses the latest trends, the newest shows, the current drama, she sits quietly, feeling like an anthropologist studying a foreign tribe. She can observe it, analyze it, even participate when necessary. But she cannot lose herself in it. It's not superiority, it's incompatibility, like trying to run software on hardware it wasn't designed for. The ninth sign? She attracts broken people who want her to heal them. This is one of the most draining aspects of being an old soul woman. Broken people can sense her depth, her wisdom, her capacity for understanding. They flock to her like moths to flame, wanting her to fix them, to understand them, to save them. But here's what they don't understand. She's not their therapist. She's not their mother. She's not their salvation. And the constant expectation that she should be leaves her exhausted. The 10th sign? She grieves for humanity while still believing in it. The old soul woman carries a deep sadness about the state of the world. She sees the patterns repeating, the wars, the cruelty, the unconsciousness. She sees how we hurt each other and ourselves. She sees how we choose sleep over awakening every time. Yet somehow, impossibly, she still believes. Not in naive optimism, but in the slow, grinding evolution of consciousness. She holds space for humanity's potential while grieving its current state. The 11th sign, she ages backward emotionally. While others grow more rigid with age, more set in their ways, the old soul woman becomes lighter. It's as if she was born carrying weights that she slowly puts down. The seriousness of youth gives way to the playfulness of maturity. She starts old and grows young, while everyone around her does the opposite. The 12th sign? She recognizes other old souls instantly. When two old souls meet, there's a moment of recognition that transcends words. It's not attraction, not friendship, not anything that has a normal name. It's simply, oh, there you are. You're awake too.
These connections are rare. Maybe once or twice in a lifetime, but when they happen, they validate everything. All the isolation, all the difficulty, all the feeling of being from somewhere else. Suddenly, it makes sense. Now, here's what I want you to understand. If you recognize yourself in these signs, if you're feeling that mixture of relief and grief that comes with being truly seen, know this. Your depth is not a curse, though it feels like one. Your awareness is not a burden, though it weighs heavily. You are not too much. You are not too intense. You are not too sensitive. You are simply conscious in a world that prefers to sleep. The solution isn't to dim yourself. It's not to pretend to be younger souled than you are. The solution is to find your people, the other old souls who are quietly holding depth in a shallow world. They exist. They're looking for you too. They're sitting alone in coffee shops, writing in journals. They're walking in nature at unusual hours. They're in used bookstores, art galleries, meditation centers. They're in the spaces between things, the quiet moments, the depths. But more importantly, the solution is to stop apologizing for what you are. Stop trying to translate yourself into simpler terms. Stop pretending you don't see what you see. The world doesn't need more people pretending to be asleep. It needs the old souls to stand in their truth, to hold their depth, to be lighthouses for others who are beginning to wake up. Your old soul isn't a burden to bear. It's a gift to share, but only with those who have eyes to see it. And if no one around you can see it yet, then be patient. Hold your depth quietly. Trust that consciousness recognizes consciousness eventually. Because here's the secret. You're not alone. You never were. You're part of something ancient and continuous, a thread of awareness that runs through all of time. You just forgot, for a moment, that being different was the whole point.